Why do I have my headset on? Don't know. Welcome to the All Walks of Art Show, a show for creatives from all walks of life. It's good to have you here. Today on the show, this is the first show where I'm really trying to do episodic type shows. We're going to do 16 episodes. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But on the show, as many of you might have already expected, I have my friend Paul Remy here. He's a musician, if you don't know him. If you've listened to the podcast over the last 100 episodes or so, you'll know Paul from all of that. We get silly, we get nutty, things get crazy, we ramble, kind of like what I'm doing now. Probably should have had this nailed down by now, but I didn't. We discuss personal evolution as artists, you know, the importance of change and how we need to do things for ourselves and basically do what we do as artists and stay true to ourselves and not spend so much time getting into a rut. And I've been in a rut for quite a while, and I think this is good. I miss the show. I miss being here. Yeah, I don't want these intros to be very long. So without further ado, grab a comfy chair, pour your favorite beverage, and enjoy the show. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing real good. How are you doing?
I got a hair on my mic. I got the hair on.
What kind of hair is it?
It's a big hair, so it's like from my head, I hope.
That's just more questions than answers on that.
I know. It's good to have you in the studio today.
Good to be here.
Yeah,
been a minute.
This is something new, kinda, sorta. We're starting out new, so it's like getting the bicycle started, right? You're just kind of pushing, you know, like if you were like in a really hard gear, like a highway gear kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of pedaling. That's when we start these shows.
Yeah, I
now.
give that up.
You know, we're not no more of those crazy welcomes and things that I used to do, which I think people did like, but
What people are that?
yeah, I don't know. So if you're watching the show,
Oh, we got video?
we have video.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kind of I don't know yet if I'm going to actually have these on the RSS feeds, which go out to, you know, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all
Why
the
not? They want to
podcasting.
see us. Give the people what they want.
Well, my point is, I don't know if the audio only I don't know if I'm going to do that yet because it's two different formats. And I got to go back and edit things differently and take the video out and redo the audio. And it's just a lot of work. That's the point of the new format. So welcome to the show. If this is new for you, it should be because it's a season 1, episode 1. That's why you're here.
Wow. Oh, goodness.
And
Said that twice.
yes, yeah, I'm going to try not to repeat myself and do everything in one take.
I doubt that happens.
So
Yeah, what's up?
it's been a long time.
Since
we've
rock
got a
and
lot.
roll.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. And I want to talk a little bit about the new format and what
pretty
we're
good.
doing. And, you know, we'll get into, there'll be other shows where we talk about stuff we're doing artistically, but this show is more of a, you know, welcome back to the show kind of a thing and letting people know that it's different. It's on YouTube now. It's going to be completely on YouTube. The full episode. I'm going to say minimal editing, but it's still going to be editing.
Yeah. You don't say.
Um,
So YouTube, I have videos, and then you got these other ones that will just have audio, is what you're saying.
no, I won't do any more. We're only going to be on YouTube,
Oh, okay.
most likely, because I don't want to do so much editing. That's my point.
Yeah.
So there'll be 16 weekly episodes all together per season, and then there'll be like a 9 to 10 week break in between, and then another season. And what that does for me is it helps me line up guests and plan things and actually do things the way I want to do it. The shows are shorter than they were before, which is pretty cool. I've given that a lot of thought. I've had some people respond and say, "Oh, I don't want them shorter. That I have an hour-long commute," and I get that. But if you're an hour-long commute, you can listen to more episodes or
Yeah, you can listen
whatever.
to two.
Yeah. And
Or listen to some of our old content. I mean, it's gold.
yeah, the old content is really good to sit and listen to. There's over 100 episodes there, you know, and you can still hear it on the podcast and stuff. That's not going away.
Have we not given that to you? I mean, are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? One of the things I really liked about this particular setup is it's forcing me to say only two microphones. In the past, we've done some shows with bands, and it was a lot of audio, a lot of
Hmm.
chaos for me to go back and edit. And even though I enjoyed all that, it's just almost like the conversation kind of got too big in a lot of cases.
Hmm.
We couldn't really discuss into detail. And I think if we cram in the conversation in a shorter amount of time, I think we can provide more value. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing it this way. Um, you are obviously a regular on the show, and I plan to have you on the show quite a bit. There's a handful of local creatives that I want to consider regulars
Hmm.
in the show. And um, I'm pretty excited about that. I do want to ask your take on change. Is change good for creatives?
I think it's essential. You have
Really?
to, you have to change, or your art doesn't evolve. It doesn't push you. It doesn't. How do you stay inspired if you don't change? I mean, you don't have to change to the extent that you don't recognize what you come from, but you can. I mean, you can do that too.
Hmm.
But I think that once you've done something, and that's what you've done, if you don't do something to push or to pull back or to change or to what's the word I'm looking for? To
Say it in English, please.
yeah, English, backen Sie Deutsch. How is that? No, if you don't do something to push you,
Yeah.
then you already did that. You already did this thing.
Yeah.
So if you don't change,
It-
especially in art, I mean, I think all art's change. I mean, why do you not like certain bands that you loved, and then they've changed, and maybe to you they've stayed the same in your mind, but their
mhm.
music's different, and you just don't like the newer stuff, but you got the older stuff. But for them, they already did that. They already gave you this. Metallica already gave you Master of Puppets and Justice for All. You don't have to like the last album they put out. So, I mean, for me, and I think you see that with a lot of visual artists too. A lot of times they'll change their style. I was real big in that with comic books. It's like certain books that I really liked. Maybe that Jim Lee drew or McFarlane. Some of my
Mhm.
favorites in the '90s and the early 2000s when I was real into it. Well, they did that and they had that, but they would bring in different artists that maybe I didn't like as much, and maybe I wasn't as into the books because the visual aspect wasn't there, but they need to do something to kind of spark that. Characters change,
Mhm.
people change, things change. Um,
Yeah, there was an evolution. Speaking of change, I mean, it's really an evolution for artists, but
exactly.
there was an evolution in the comics for Spider-Man, believe it or not. We in the 70s, in the comics in the 70s, we kind of got used to this web that was coming out of Spider-Man's wrists, and it was just kind of a sloppy stream of web, right?
Hmm.
Probably more like what you would see an actual spider kind of doing, right? And then somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was Jim Lee who changed it or if it was the guy that did Spawn. What was his name?
McFarlane. I
McFarlane.
know where you're
Yeah,
going with. It was him. He did that, and it had all the different.
it was more of a spaghetti looking
Yeah,
kind of.
and it had all the little knots and all the
Yes,
little
yeah,
things,
yeah.
and same thing he talks about, like with Mary Jane. Mary Jane's supposed to be a supermodel,
Hmm.
and he
There's
said,
no way Peter Parker could have pulled a supermodel.
well, I don't know.
Let's
He had
face it.
personality. He had
Yeah, he
personality,
was a photographer. The
but
photographers
they
don't
went
get
to they
supermodels.
went to school together, so they knew
Right.
each other, or
Yes.
they met through Aunt May, I think, or she was a neighbor. I can't remember, but they've changed it so much in the
Every
books.
photographer is going to send me hate mail
But
now.
but he made her hair curly in the books, and I remember
Oh,
that was a big fight. And like the way he drew her, like I would buy. They had books you could get that was just like basically like the cover art, because
yeah.
I really loved it. That's some of my favorite artwork is comic book covers and stills from that age.
Me
I
too.
just
Me
love
too.
that.
It's crazy because a lot of folks look at it like it's not. Um, it, it, they demean it, right? It's not fine art. It's
Still to this day,
yeah,
even,
yeah,
but you got the movies, you got music that goes along with it, you got character development.
yeah.
It's a it's a beautiful art
Oh
form.
yeah, yeah. And this shows
Writing, the writing is good. You know, it's
yes,
but I think it's the word too. I think if they would have been called graphic novels from the beginning, um, you would look at it different. But you know, they were comic books, and
yeah,
then that evolved into the kind of the long form stories that became graphic
right,
novels. And
right.
I think that it's just you don't you automatically think of when you're our age or older, you think of Archie or you think of Popeye strips or you think comic. You know, when you
Hmm.
think of that, I think a lot of times, but for me, it was a big escape, and it was something that I
Right.
could dive into and relate to some of the characters. And
Yep.
as they've tried to make them more modern, they've taken all that backstory. You know, you're 300 issues into a book, and but to try to make it fresh, and I get it. It's just like we're talking about with change. They took it and they wiped the story
Hmm.
clean and started over.
Hmm.
And now I'm not interested. I don't read Spider-Man anymore because of that. I don't read a lot of these books because they did that. But I got all the old
Hmm.
stuff that I remember, and I'll buy them when they put them into the what they call it, like the trade paperbacks. It's got
Hmm.
like a whole story arc in there, and I'm still into that kind of a thing a little bit, but I was so invested into these characters for and to the way they were laid out for, 20
Oh
years.
yeah.
I can't just go back and look, okay, well now we're back. Peter Parker's a teenager again and
Right.
he's
Right.
this and that. I get it. I get why they do it.
So
You got to
s-
stay relatable.
yeah, and I guess looking at it that way, evolution, you can drop when you focus on your audience, right? Which is what we're doing here on this show. And one of the reasons why I wanted to make this 22 minutes of talking um, wasn't just because of limitations of one of the cameras, but also drive times. A lot of people they don't have time to waste. We become a society where it's always in a hurry. And if we were to have these shows an hour long, sometimes it just puts people off. It's like I don't have time for that.
Right.
Right. So I'm kind of hoping that the shorter evolution of this show makes things better. I'm also trying to throw some other things in here where it'll almost like our shorts that I started throwing up,
Hmm.
a little bit when I was doing clips from the other shows when we would toy with video, and that really this all scratches a huge itch for me because I like to play with cameras, I like to play with audio, and I like to edit, and I want my editing on YouTube to be better. And in order to do that, this scratches that itch. This I can
Hmm.
experiment more on this channel than I can on my main channel, and this is fun for me. And I needed fun. I needed fun in my evolution.
Hmm.
I lost it. It's been 15 months roughly since we've recorded at all.
Been that much?
Yeah.
Been that long? Much long.
Maybe closer to 13, but we did some shows that we recorded shows on audio that never made it. And it wasn't because I didn't hit record or lost it. It was that
That
we
has
just
happened before
it
though.
has, but we just haven't I just didn't feel the urge to edit. I was like, I'm so tired of this. There's I learned what I wanted to learn with audio
Hmm.
um for editing that way. But I also felt like, and this is going to get nerdy a minute, but I also felt like we really didn't have the opportunity to reach the audience that would be interested in this because Apple doesn't push the 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 stream. They don't say, "Hey, here's a show you might like." They really don't. In search, you go to search, you can't find it, right? We're not Conan, right? We're not
Speak for yourself.
we're not big
I am a
right.
barbarian.
No, not Conan the Barbarian,
Oh,
but
sorry.
the Late Show guy with the red hair, swoopy, tall guy, goofy. I like him. Don't get me wrong, but um, it's one of them things where you just you're not going to reach an audience because you get buried. And i- interestingly enough, YouTube decided to add this thing where they allow you to do podcasts on YouTube.
Hmm.
And I'm going to dive into that with this channel, and that might do it. That might actually move the audio to the podcast. realm of RSS feeds. I don't know how that works yet. If somebody knows, put it in the comments. But um, there's a lot more that we could do with this show. I feel like if we're talking so much about visual art and we're sharing things that we're trying to have people envision while they're driving down the road, it might be nice to be able to throw it up on a video and let them see what it is we're talking
Well, right,
about.
especially while they're driving.
Yeah,
Always watch movies while you're driving. I
absolutely.
do that all the time.
And make sure, get a good cup holder for your whiskey and,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, this is America.
anyway. I think visually it's just better. I have a lot to learn about being on camera too. There's things about me that
Oh yeah,
I want to
it's very
correct.
off-putting. There's
It
things
is.
about you that are off-putting too.
Seriously, there is. We all hate our voice, right?
Oh yeah,
When we go to
it's
record
terrible.
something, it's
I
like,
know.
oh my
You
God.
sound pretty good, I think, though. I think
Well, some people say that. I hate my voice. And I really hate the way I look on camera. I recorded a couple episodes with Gunner later in the season.
Gunnar Nelson.
No,
After the rain.
no, but there's something to that. We'll bring that up in another episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Not funny, not funny.
Not funny,
It's
haha.
just it's interesting.
Funny, strange.
Yeah.
Like when I used to climb the rope in gym class.
Yes, all fuzzy feeling. It's one of them things where I lost my train of thought.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You don't like how you look on camera.
Yeah, I don't like how I look on camera. So, but with Gunner, I was noticing my hair was all over, and my hair's probably all over the place now too, because
Looks pretty good.
Paul will tell you if you ever see him in real life.
Please don't talk to me.
A little bit too. But I'm somewhat of a gear nerd, and I'm obsessed.
Understatement of the year.
And I mean, it's not like I'm obsessed really with it. I don't know. It's just that I want to focus on making sure the technical part is all right, or at least good enough for me to work with.
You got gas, man. Gear acquisition syndrome. It's the same thing that's like
guitar
guitar players and bass players and drummers
Well,
have.
the last thing I'm worried about is my appearance, right? And now I know why actors have people do their appearance. Like they show up and get their hair done because they're focused.
Are
on
you
actually
acting?
Working.
Are you portraying a character here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I'm just Mike.
I miss this, man. It's
I
good,
do
it's
too.
good to be here.
It is good to be here.
All right. Well,
we're coming close to the end here. Settle down there. I knew he'd be rushing me. I knew he would. See, we talked about the regulars, which you're a regular. I'm looking through my notes. This is the hard part for me. So meta. Got my hands in your camera.
See, I don't like that.
I know.
That's my camera.
I know. I can cut that out.
Minimal editing.
Yeah.
I'm
now the other, I'll tell you what's kind of fun too is the off weeks, those 9 to 10 weeks in between seasons. I plan on doing, I don't know how this is going to work out yet, but I thought maybe it'd be fun to do like the best of a season.
Oh, that's cool.
So that like 5 weeks into the break, you can watch the best of season 1. And catch it all like in an hour-long show where I cut out the really good bits that I think are impressive, and it might be kind of a fun way to relive the whole season in one episode and just kind of enjoy it. It's still definitely a show where creatives sit together and have a drink, right? And lounge like.
Mm-hmm.
The music hasn't changed. The introductions changed a little bit, but it's not the same as it was. I record them separately. There's a lot of fun stuff that I think is going to make it a lot better for me. If I go to do an episode with somebody and they're uncomfortable, it's easier for me in 20 minutes to correct that than it is to do a whole hour-long episode and realize they were uncomfortable the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can kind of have a conversation, turn things off, just chat for a bit, turn everything back on, do it again. Right. And that'll be a lot better. There's still some things that I'm working out about distance guests, because I think there's going to be a certain amount of parameters that I need to have. Like, they're going to have to be able to record themselves, video and audio, locally. And we, use something like Skype or the that other clean feed that we used before, and actually kind of have a conversation that way, and then somehow figure out how to get the files across the country or around the globe or whatever to do the thing.
They
But
have the post office. Pretty
well,
convenient.
I don't. People don't. No, that's not how it's done, Paul.
Why not?
No,
It works.
no. So, but back on the evolution of the show and why I wanted to do this. A lot of this is me learning how to communicate with people better. Uh, I have, and I would say we'll make this a drinking game going forward. So if you're watching the show and you're at home and you're, that sort of thing, you're watching the show. If you find that I was interrupting somebody or not listening well or
Trying to give people alcohol
looking
poisoning.
at my phone while they're trying to say something, take a drink.
Man,
Have a shot.
People are going to die.
They're going to just get rocked in 20 minutes.
Why do you think you were doing that? You were interrupting people?
I do. There's a lot of times where I'm watching the show or listening to our show in the past where I go, shut up, Mike. Just shut up. And this goes back to, I don't like the way I see myself on camera. This is the way I don't like hearing myself on camera. And this is hard. It really is. I think for a lot of people, we get some people behind the mic and they're just like, is this loud enough? And there's nothing wrong with that. This is not natural. Right. So there will be episodes where I have overhead microphones. These are gone. The reason I use these in this studio is I live 20 feet from a highway and I have to, drown that out. We're also in a really small space.
Yeah.
Very small. I don't think on camera, this is just not going to translate very well at all. But, we're half of the room is 9 foot wide and it's 12 foot in length.
So that means it's half of 12 by 9. Why did you go with a half of the room is not? Why did you say it like that?
Think of it like.
Why did you say it like that?
Because there's a closet right there. So essentially, take a 12 foot by 12 foot room. Then you have to take in consideration that half the room is only 9 foot wide instead of 12 foot wide because of the closet. Makes sense?
That it does now, but the way you just said
it does now. All right.
It makes more sense.
We're down to the last couple of seconds, Paul. What do you think about the new format?
Well, I don't really know yet.
I miss you so much.
I miss
this
you
is fun. This was fun. You got it in you to record another episode?
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh yeah. So I'm not going to change clothes. Paul's not going to change clothes.
You don't know. I have a shirt on underneath this.
Do you?
I might not even wear it.
Yeah.
That could be my new thing.
Yeah, the next episode is all about being naked. No.
I like being naked.
All right. Well, till next time. Do you remember the phrase? Because this is the only time we're probably going to use it in this whole season.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't plan on using it.
May your drinks be tasty and your muse thirsty.
Yes. He did remember. Cheers, guys.